you hit record? To begin today's speech, I want to ask you to think about your family traditions for a funeral. As you think about it, I'm going to be telling you about a different kind of funeral tradition. This funeral tradition is from the Maori people. In this, you will learn their burial rites traditions. We will talk about a lot of information, so bear with me. We will go over what they do and why they do them. The Maori culture is from New Zealand and is still practiced around the world today, especially with the Eastern Polynesian culture. While most funerals only last hours, this one lasts 3 days or more. They do this to spend time with their loved ones before they're completely gone. Some of you might have heard this by its other name, tangi. Tangi means weep, but also to sing to the dead and for the dead. This sad but amazing culture begins when someone dies, wherever that may be. Then the chief will be summoned to the location or home to begin the gathering the people. During this, he will give his final instructions to the family and to the people. While this is happening, the chief might request certain foods or waters from a particular spring. On the following day, they will find a marae, which is an open space or courtyard where the whole 3-day funeral will take place. While the family finds this place where they hold the funeral, the people will walk through the inside of the house where the recently deceased had lived, where they would perform a chant called Karika, which is also known as Christian prayers, hoping to help the spirits accept what's happening and pray for the family that they are leaving behind. In this culture, they will have an open casket no matter what, when they dress them up in something they had requested or something traditional in the family or culture. Like a usual funeral, they will play songs and speeches in honor of the recently deceased, but they will also have some chants. Some of the songs are traditional and some hold meaning with the family and their loved one. During the whole funeral event, the family will stay very close to the deceased loved one. They don't go home, they don't sleep. They sleep next to their loved one. They also don't eat anything until their loved one is in the ground. Since they are so close to their loved one, the whole funeral ritual, they don't take part in any other events or activities. They won't even go to work. Everything is about their loved ones, which they believe they do this for easier grieving, meaning they sleep together, all in one building. As they walk their loved one out in the casket, they do chants, and some let doves go in the air, some showing some final goodbyes. They then will deliver the casket to the burial, which they will last see the casket with their loved one inside. After their loved one is buried into the ground, they have a huge tradition where they have a water container by the exit to wash your hands and to sprinkle some on their hands before they leave. They do this to wash away the sadness that they feel. After you have washed your hands, it's time to have the hakira, which is also known tradition for the Maori traditions. In this, it is called a feast. The people are expected to provide a koma, which is known as a gift or contribution. They will sometimes release canoes for the dead, for the deceased to know how to get back home. They have many beliefs, but today I'm going to share 3 with you. In this culture, they believe that their loved one's spirits travel through an underground world and ends up in Hawaii, which is where their ancestors came from, and they call it home. They also believe that the whole body should speak during the hakira, which is a dance. It isn't a regular dance. The hakira conveys a message that says goodbye to their loved ones and who has just passed. They believe to convey this message, you have to dance with heavy stomping, trembling hand movements, producing tongues, and even dilated eyes. I hope you learned something you didn't know about this Eastern Polynesian culture. Before we end, I want you to do one more thing for me. In your head, I want you to compare this culture with your own culture. Is there anything that you have in common with this culture? What are your thoughts and feelings about this culture? Is there anything you would want to change in your culture after hearing it, and how they do things? I hope you enjoyed this speech. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.